Karnak. What is the Karnak Temple? Karnak Temple is one of the greatest temples in Luxor. It is known that the city of Luxor is one of the most valuable inheritances of Egypt. When it comes to the ancient Egyptian civilization, the reason for this is that Luxor contains a large number of amazing ancient monuments. It is worth noting that the Karnak Temple includes many other temples since the Pharaonic era. The movement of expansion continues in it and in its construction, and the temple is considered one of the greatest ancient temples, which many tourists came to visit, and he presided over many religious temples that were established at that time. The Karnak Temple is distinguished as a temple that includes a group of different temples, in addition to containing many other buildings. It is located in the Arab Republic of Egypt on the banks of the Nile, north of the city of Luxor. And the construction operations expanded in it since the beginning of its construction in the Pharaonic era, especially the kings of the Middle Ages, until the era of the Romans. The temple was built specifically for the god Amun-Ra, his wife and son, and each of them had their own temple built, and these temples were inside Karnak. The reason for naming Karnak Temple. The Karnak Temple has many names, and the reason for the multiple names of the temple was due to the association of Egyptian ideas and ancient beliefs. Where the Karnak Temple was called at the beginning by the name Baramoun, and it was called Abt-Sot in the Middle Ages. The Karnak Temple complex consists of a large number of temples, churches and other buildings in the form of a village. For this reason, this complex was called Karnak, because this title in the Arabic language means the fortified village. Some say that he was given this name in relation to the name of the city to which he belongs, which means the believing village. Since the beginning of its foundation, the temple passed through many titles and names, until in the end it was named after the city of Taha. Yep. Where is the Karnak Temple located? Karnak is an ancient Egyptian temple area, and the Karnak Temple is located in Karnak, now Luxor Governorate, formerly Thebes, southern Egypt on the eastern bank of the Nile River. The importance of Karnak Temple. It has a great religious importance, as the Karnak Temple complex was the center of the ancient faith during the era of the New Kingdom. While the power was concentrated in Thebes' modern Luxor, its importance is due to its large size. It served as a treasury, an administrative center, and a palace for the pharaohs of the New Kingdom. Karnak is the largest temple complex ever built anywhere in the world. Yielded a group of temples, sanctuaries, and towers, and other decorations that have no equal in all parts of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Its importance lay during the era of the New Kingdom and during the reigns of the famous pharaohs, such as Hatshepsut, Thutmose III, Seti I and Ramesses II. They all contributed to important additions to the complex. Construction continued in the Greco-Roman era with the Ptolemies, Romans, and early Christians leaving their mark there. What is the reason for building the Karnak Temple? The reason for the construction of the Karnak Temple is due to the fact that in the past, the king wanted to get closer to God. In addition to buildings and facilities, erecting statues and obelisks, and presenting gifts and donations. And when the place expanded, the kings erected their buildings on more than one side. Some kings removed the buildings of their predecessors in order to build their own on their sites. Characteristics of the Karnak Temple. The Karnak Temple is distinguished by the fact that it includes a group of various and many temples that were built starting from the 11th dynasty around the world. 2134 BC. All temples inside Karnak are surrounded by walls made of mud bricks. They are connected to each other by paths guarded by closely lined statues of sphinxes, known as the Penguin of Rams. The Karnak Temple immortalized the names of the great Egyptian kings who ruled Egypt, such as Thutmose III, Seti I, Ramses II, Ramses III and others. The temple contains an exhibition in which there are various arts of building, sculpture, and engraving, and a rich record of historical events in ancient Egypt. The Great Karnak Temple is distinguished by the magical sound and light shows that take place every evening, which is a great way to discover Karnak Temple. The Karnak Temple is the largest walled house of worship on earth. Karnak is the largest temple complex ever built anywhere in the world. History of Karnak Temple. During the Middle Kingdom period, the temple was considered in that period as a land offered, especially after the arrival of the 11th dynasty. He ruled Egypt at that time, as his servant Ammonius in the temple had a great influence on him. It increased his strength and gave him enormous wealth, and he was mixed with the sun deity, the Ra deity. Among the oldest facilities in the temple area is the White Chapel and the Middle Kingdom Court. During the New Kingdom period, this period is known as the Golden Period of the Temple, as the 8th dynasty. They were keen on worshipping the god Ammonius, who was mixed with the god Ra. And they were famous for their military interests and facilities, and their interest in the temple increased. And King Amenhotep I began building a temple for the god Ammonius Ra, then King Thutmose I came after him. And he built the 4th and the 5th Frank, and he built 2 granite obelisks. One of these obelisks still exists today. Then Queen Hatshepsut arose, who was able to continue ruling for more than 23 years. And she built the 8th edifice, and she built 2 obelisks, and these obelisks remain until the present time. Then King Amenhotep III came and built the 3rd edifice. And Akhenaten, who was the first to call for the worship of one god, built a temple for his worshippers, the god Ammonius Ra. And Horemheb built the 2nd edifice and the 10th and 9th edifices, and this was to gain the approval of the priests. The most important developments of the temple. The Department of Antiquities restored the damaged interior of the temple and made new developments in the temple, and updating the facade of the building in order to preserve the general appearance of the temple, which is the facade of tourism in Egypt. And they adjusted the lighting and sound inside the temple, and they set many restrooms to receive visitors. The temple is divided into 3 areas, which are: the southern region, it contains the collection of Queen Mut, wife of Ammonius. The northern region, the group includes King Ammonius Ra Montu. The central region, contains the collection of King Ammonius Ra. The edifices that make up the Karnak Temple. The temple consists of 10 edifices, which are: the first edifice. This edifice was built by one of the 30 kings of the dynasty Nektanbo. It is the last of its beds in ancient history, which is the main entrance to the temple. It is the last edifice constructed in the temple, and it is among the entrances that make up the temple. It is located in the district of West. The second edifice. Horemheb built it with Ramses I, and King Ramses II added some modifications. He inscribed his name on the edifice, and the edifice is about 97 meters long and 29 meters high. And after a period of time had passed since its construction, a statue of one of the kings of the 21st dynasty was found. Enbenki. And King Ramses VI wrote his name on the base of the statue, and this statue represents Ramses II. And he stands wearing the crown, holding in his hand some rams, and his imam stands his legs. He returns to his daughter, and he has increased his excess. The third edifice. It was built by Amenhotep III and was demolished with the passage of time, and there is no trace of it at the present time. The fourth edifice. It was built by King Thutmose I. The fifth edifice. It was built by King Thutmose I. The sixth edifice. It was built by King Thutmose III in the west side of the temple. It is considered the smallest existing edifice, and it is made of granite on top of it. His drawing of the lotus flower from the north side, and his drawing of the papyrus plant from the south side. The seventh edifice. It was built by King Thutmose III and is located on the south side. The eighth edifice. It was built by Queen Hatshepsut. The ninth edifice. It was built by King Horemheb. The 10th edifice. It was built by King Horemheb.